welcome. I'm so glad you're here. My name's Anna, and on my channel, I mostly talk about makeup. I just love to decorate myself with color, and I don't know, it's just fun. And I like to talk about it with y'all and share it. And one thing that I really love to do is compare palettes, eyeshadow palettes. When I see that there are similarities, I want to check it out and see how similar they are. I don't know, just something fun to do. Today I have two pretty new palettes, and they're both indie palettes. And this is the Amy Loves Makeup and Adept Cosmetics collab. And the other palette is the Fantasy Cosmetica Cradled in Ice palette, which I feel like just looking at them side by side like this, they don't look that similar. But I saw this photo of swatches, or these two photos of swatches. I don't know, when the Cradled in Ice came out, I just thought that it kind of looked like the Amy Loves Makeup. It was like a similar vibe. So I'm really curious to compare these two palettes. So I'm going to do that today. Starting with, I think what I'm going to do is swatch out the larger palette first, and then try to swatch next to those in the smaller palette and see what I can work with today. This might be a total flop. I've not quite had any of these comparison videos be like a complete flop where it's like, yeah, no, they're absolutely not the same. But I don't know, today might be the day. I always think that today might be the day when I do this, but we'll see. All right, so I'm just gonna start swatching the Amy Loves Makeup, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's the Amy Loves Makeup palette, which, man, I just think that is such a stunning color story. And, you know, I think, so the Adept palette is almost twice as much cost-wise as the Fantasy Cosmetica palette. I think based on my small experience with both of them, that this one does have some more spectacular formulas. These aren't bad, but these are just like, wow to me. And they're good. So that's one thing to keep in mind, I guess. I'm going to go along these and see what shades I can find that are similar. One thing about this palette is most of the shimmers were sort of a blue to pink shift of various depths. Like there were some that were a little darker, some that were a little lighter, especially in the base color, I think. No, I think it was like the reflect color too. So I think the only real like blue to pink shift in the Adept palette was this one. You can only see the blue there, but there is a purple shift to that. So I'm going to try to swatch 3 little swatches kind of close to that one and see how similar they are. So those 3 shades that I'm thinking of are Frost. We're going to keep that mirror out of your eyes. Crystal and Snuggle. And those, yeah, you can see they all look like somewhat similar. Like they're very much in the same family together. Not identical, but anyway, I'm gonna try to do 3 little swatches like right underneath this one. And now I have forgotten. Oh wow, okay, yeah. The Adept is just kind of so much more spectacular, but it's definitely the closest to this one, although which one was that? Now that I've put them on my arm, I was not. I think that one is oopsie whoopsie. I'm gonna have to try that again. Okay, I think that one is Snuggle. I think it's Snuggle. Yeah, I think I'm not exactly sure. Okay, so moving on. I want to see with these mattes, like what's going to be the closest to the blue shade in the Adept palette. So this one right here. And I think it's going to be one of the darker two. So Glacial and Nest. I think it's going to be Glacial, but maybe I'm actually going to have, well, okay, this is Glacial. And this is Nest. I think Glacial is the closer of the two. One thing that I noticed when I did my first impressions video with this one is that these are extremely pigmented, and so like a little goes a long way. Like they were very just boom, in your face color. Whereas I think this one has a little bit more buildable formula and it shears out a little easier. This one, it's like you really have to be careful because you can go overboard very easily because, like I said, everything is just extremely pigmented. You can kind of see that here. I actually kind of find formulas like this a little easier to work with, I think. And I don't know, I think maybe if you're like a really good makeup artist, maybe you would like the more pigment scenario. But for me, I like a little bit more buildable formula. It's just a little easier to work with. Not that I don't like the Cradled and Ice palette, but I think if I had to choose, I do probably prefer this one. Again, it's like almost twice as much money, and this one's like super cute. So anyways, I digress a bit. Let's go into the brown shades and see if we can find some similarities. I'm gonna remember which finger is which. So Adore, Hideaway, and Lair. Oh good, those are in alphabetical and depth order. And I don't think this one's really gonna be similar to any, no, that's much more sort of clay colored, warmer, I guess you could say. I think this is gonna be maybe in between these two. Oh, that one's a little warmer too. Maybe a little bit more, whoops, a little bit more purple. And then the deepest one, I don't know that there's going to be, I mean, look at that. Look at that. It's so dark. Okay. Interesting. I was sort of surprised actually when I used this one. Like I was trying to get a more subtle sort of wearable look out of it and it became dramatic very quickly. So I think it's maybe a little harder to get like an everyday look with this palette. It goes pretty drama pretty quickly, but it is about dragons. So I feel like that's, you know, fair. It's like a cosplay-ish palette kind of, you know what I mean? Like fantasy. I don't know. That just gives like more dramatic vibes for me in general. Let's see. So next, this Frozen shade, I don't think is going to be similar to anything here, but let's swatch it anyway and just see. And then at the same time, I'll do this Hatchling, this pink, because there is a pink in the Adept palette. Oh, but that's right. They're like shiny pinks. Well, does it look like this one at all? No. Well, I think it might look a little more like this one. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe it's this. I might be foiled on this one, y'all. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay. And this like light blue, I have no idea. I don't know what that's gonna look like. Maybe like somewhere over here? Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, it's a matte and not a shimmer, but I'd say it's like in that zone. It's quite a bit lighter than this matte blue. All right, and last but not least, I have two more shimmers, and this is Treasure and Embrace. And Treasure has like kind of a pinky silver, which, what is that gonna match up with? This one? It's definitely a very different formula. Am I spilling eyeshadow into this other palette? Okay. What did I just do? Oh, this right here. Yeah, I mean, those might be somewhat similar, very different formulas. The Cradled in Ice is just so much more, what am I trying to say? Like, chunky. And then this last one actually kind of looks like this same one. Let's see. Is that similar? It's like a little more silver. But like a pinky silver. Oh man. This might be hard today. Okay, I honestly don't think this is gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work. I thought they looked a little bit similar. I don't think they're similar at all. So let's see what we can come up with. I'm gonna do a thing that I hope I don't regret, but I'm just feeling lazy and I have a hard time cleaning fallout off of my face. So I'm just gonna try to prevent fallout from ever sticking to my face by taking a beauty blender and just basically baking. I don't like doing this, but I'm feeling way too lazy to like try to clean off my face after I put my eyeshadow on. I don't know why it's so hard, but it just is. And this makes it easier because it gives this layer of powder that I can just brush off afterwards. All right. So now that I look like this, let's zoom in a little bit and get started on the eye look. I'm going to use different brushes on both sides, but let's start with, let's use the blue. Let's use the blue from the Amy Loves Makeup palette. And that's gonna go on the left side because that's where the palette is sitting. My eyes are primed with the Anastasia Beverly Hills mini eye primer and my Pat McGrath under eye powder. So and then in the Cradled in Ice palette, going into Glacial, which I think was the closest, and I'm gonna use such a light hand with this because, like I said, it's just a more pigmented palette. Tap off that excess. Oh, well, what? That, okay. There we go. Yeah, that's definitely a deeper color. Huh. All right, well, what can we do to even that out? Maybe put a little bit of that lighter blue called Frozen on the bottom there. I don't have enough hands to like demonstrate that. Just a little bit. I don't know if that'll lighten it up or not. Go in with the Amy Loves Makeup palette and Adept Cosmetics. All right. I wonder if these brown shades will look more alike over the blue. I'm gonna try. So this was the latest one called Hideaway in the Cradled in Ice palette. All right, and for the Amy Loves Makeup palette, That was the warmest shade in the palette called 1997. We're gonna try to use that on this side. Yeah, it's so much less pigmented, like so much sort of sheerer or something. Huh. Yeah, I think this side looks a little deeper. Again, it is sort of similar vibes, I'd say, but they're different. They're different. Okay, let's see what I can do with some shimmery shades. Okay. Well, I think going into Indie on this one, which is this right here. It's got so much more blue. Whoops, this one right here. It's got so much more blue, but I think it might work for my purposes if I just put a little bit on this like outer kind of half of my lid, which I should be doing in a mirror closer to me. All right, and then similarly, I believe Snuggle was my closest to that. You can see the blue reflect on there. It's not as strong and it's not as like bright, but maybe it'll give a similar vibe. It's definitely like, what do I want to say? It's like a stickier, like wetter formula, I feel like. Yeah, that looks so much more pink. Wow. Okay. So much more pink. I'm gonna try to put a little bit of Frozen over that and see if that helps a little. I don't think it's really going to, but we're gonna try. Yeah, these are pretty darn different. What else do I have to work with here? I mean, I don't know. Let's go into Vibes and put that on my lid. My lid's gonna be a little deep, but shimmery, so that's fine. I almost feel like that matches like this a little better than that outside shade that I used. Oh no, I switched the eye. Well, crappers. I guess we just have to trade now to the other side. Oh, when things go wrong, it's all falling apart. Okay, anyways, I was thinking that maybe that would be sort of similar to this one here. So let's do that. Well, this experiment was contaminated, but maybe we can get a pretty look anyway. Because I couldn't keep track. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. It's like on different sides. It's not like it's still a different palette on a different side, if you know what I mean. All right. Well, cool. Oh dear. Well, I think this is conclusively my first like major fail in my palette comparisons. I'm gonna finish up my makeup just so we can see what the final look looks like. But yeah, I think this was a fail. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, actually, before I do that, I mean, since this is like clearly not gonna, this is clearly not gonna work anyway, let's use pink for the brow bone. So we'll use a shiny pink from this palette, and I will put it on the right eye this time. Why did I do that? Pay attention, Anna. Ooh, that's so pretty though. And then inner corner. Boop, 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 boop. Oh my goodness. I kind of love that. All right, and then with this palette, I'm going to use the matte pink. I just want to see. Okay. Yeah, so much more pigment. Just wow. Actually, that's not bad. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, and here's the finished look. So I switched up that one shade. Nevertheless, I don't think I would have gotten the same look anyway. Don't mind the eyeliner. It's meant to look good when my eyes are open, not when I'm close up and they're closed. They're different, so the shape looks different unless my eyes are open from a long distance away. But anyways, also, I wish I had navy blue mascara right now. I think that would be amazing. But I think both of these palettes are absolutely beautiful. I kind of think you don't need both. You can see the shimmer right here that was actually supposed to be this palette is a little bit more, there's a little more dimension in it. It's a little bit more multi-chrome, I'd say, or duochrome. It's shinier. This is a little bit more subtle. I think both are beautiful and just different. Maybe you do need both of these. You know, from back here, like, maybe they look kind of the same. I think my initial instinct about this is correct, that they are a similar vibe. Like, it's a similar vibe. It's kind of cool toned. I would say this one, whoops, that's the blush palette. This one is more cool toned than this one. I think you can get a more dramatic look probably with this one, but you know, I was able to tone it down as well. It's still, I mean, this is not, well, I mean, it's wearable. I don't know. Again, I don't think they're the same, but I don't know if you need both or not. I feel like this is just fun. I mean, they're both fun, but like if I had to live without one, it would be this one. I don't think it's as exciting, but it's super cute and it's less expensive. I forget how much this one was. I think this was 70 something retail and this one was high 30s, low 40s, something like that. So I think, so anyway, both beautiful palettes, not the same palette. I really couldn't tell you which one would be better to have. It kind of depends on, like I said, like what you want. If you want something that's like definitely more dramatic, maybe this, although the shimmers are more spectacular. Like if you want spectacular shimmers and like a little bit more variation of shimmers, this one. Anyways, these are pretty palettes. I like them. I think they're really pretty. I like this look. I mean, it's different, but it's like from the same family. Anyways, I'm gonna go wash this off and I hope that you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for being here and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side alive. It will help us every day. It will brighten all the way if we keep on the sunny side alive.